The first was this recognition that we simply need to know what's going on out there in the world. And so one of the first things that our committee did was launch a global clinical trials registry. Anybody who does a clinical trial with gene editing, and at this point it's all somatic editing, will have to register that clinical trial so that everybody knows what's going on and knows where to be looking for new evidence about how to do it safely, how to follow up. Ultimately, if any country approves clinical trials for germline, that will go on the registry as well. The second is to try and give governments around the world a framework for what they have to do if they're going to adopt regulations for this area, somatic or germline. They have to first decide whether or not it's going to be permissible at all. That's particularly relevant for germline. Then they got to decide, what are you going to do about your cross-border issues? What if one of your scientists goes to a different country where it's allowed and then comes home where it's forbidden? What if one of your citizens goes to another country where it's allowed and comes back where it was forbidden? How are you going to manage those things? And are you going to penalize people? This is a very real issue. I mean, today in France, it's illegal to use a paid surrogate mother. Some French citizens have gone to other countries, hired surrogates, had children, come back to France, and the French will not grant French national recognition to the child as a child of that family because it violates what would have been the law in France if they tried it there. And these children are now being rendered stateless in some cases. So, this kind of cross-border coordination is a very important part of any regulatory framework. Do what you want to do in your own borders. Make sure we understand how it interacts. Second, when it comes to somatic therapy, what do you want to do about enhancement? Do you want to permit it? Do you want to forbid it? If you're going to forbid it, how do you define it? Is my cataract operation enhancement or not? Needs to be clear to everybody. If you're going to permit it, how do you want your regulatory people to view these benefits? Because benefits are often very subjective. My ability to be stronger or taller or be less prone to obesity are all very value-laden kinds of things that I might care about much more than you or vice versa. So whose view of the benefit is going to go into that risk-benefit equation? Even if the risks are empirical and measurable, the benefits may not be.